Some women know exactly how to push a man's buttons to get what they want. Now, if you don't see it coming, you might end up giving away your time, your energy, and your hard-earned money, not to mention your self-respect without even realizing it. And the truth is, manipulation techniques and psychology work best on men who ignore the early signs. Once you know what to look for, you can stop it before it starts. Keep your frame intact and save years of pain. If you're new here, my name is Anna Jorgensen. I help good men like you understand women better so you can find, attract, and keep your keeper without losing anything. Welcome to Just the Tip, or welcome back. Now, the difference between a man who gets played and a man who keeps his control isn't luck. It's about awareness. Knowing the signs, trusting what you see, and setting boundaries before the game begins is what separates men who are respected from men who get played. Can you tell when a woman is trying to manipulate you? Most men can't. In fact, the men who think they can are often the easiest to control. Let's look at the most common manipulation techniques and psychology tactics women use, why they work on men who are not paying attention, and how to spot and avoid these tactics before it's too late. Now, some of you may recognize some of these instantly. Others might surprise you because they seem harmless at first, but are actually part of deeper female psychology. All right, manipulation techniques. Number 1, guilt trips. A guilt trip is one of the oldest manipulation techniques and psychology tools a woman can use. She makes you feel bad for something that isn't even wrong, or it's beyond your control, to pressure you into doing what she wants. For example, let's say you can't make an event because of a work function or a work obligation. And she replies, well, if you really cared, you'd be there. Oh my gosh, why guilt trips work? Well, maybe your mother guilted your father, or even you. Either way, guilt trips exploit your sense of duty and desire to be a good man. Men who want to avoid women's manipulation spot this as emotional leverage and calmly stick to their decision without over-explaining. They understand healthy relationship dynamics do not rely on guilt to gain compliance. Question. Have you ever been guilt tripped into doing something you didn't want to? Comment. Now, this leads to another sneaky tactic that can wear you down over time. Number 2, withholding affection. Withholding affection is a subtle but powerful form of manipulation. She uses intimacy, warmth, and approval as a reward or punishment to shape your behavior. Example, you set a boundary and suddenly she's cold and distant or too tired for any affection. Why withholding affection works, you probably know. Maybe you lacked affection as a child. Now it triggers fear of rejection, or it's simply a loss of physical intimacy. Men who want to avoid women's manipulation understand that affection should never be conditional on compliance. If she uses affection as a bargaining chip, it's not love, it's control. All right, question. Have you noticed affection change the moment you stopped giving in? Share your story. Sometimes, instead of pulling away, she might turn the heat up in a different way. Number 3, love bombing. Okay, so love bombing is one of the most intoxicating psychology tactics. She floods you with attention and affection, especially early on, to create emotional dependency. Then she uses that bond to influence your behavior. Example, let's say she makes you feel like you are her entire world, then starts asking for big favors, or she crosses boundaries. Why love bombing works? Well, perhaps you experienced it as a child. Love bombing overloads your brain with dopamine, creating fast attachment. Men who want to avoid women's manipulation enjoy the attention but remain cautious, knowing sudden intensity isn't the same as genuine connection. Have you ever been swept up in intense affection that later turned controlling? Another tactic that works because it feels so personal is number 4, playing the victim. Playing the victim is a core part of many manipulation and psychology strategies. She frames herself as the innocent one in every conflict, no matter the facts, and it triggers your instinct to protect or fix her. Example, she cheats but says, "You were distant, so I felt unwanted." Why playing the victim works. Well, maybe you felt protective of your mother as a child. Playing the victim hacks into your protector and fairness instinct. Men who want to avoid women's manipulation refuse to take the blame for her choices and keep accountability where it belongs. Have you ever been made the bad guy for something she did? Comment. Okay, now if victimhood doesn't work, some women may try the opposite approach. 5, rage or drama. Control the situation. This is one of the loudest manipulation techniques. By blowing up or crying or creating chaos, it makes it too exhausting for you to stand your ground. Example, you bring up a problem and she instantly turns it into a shouting match or floods you with tears until you drop the issue. Why rage and drama work? Well, maybe it triggers memories from childhood. Once again, rage and drama overwhelm and exhaust, so you give in just to restore peace. Men who want to avoid women's manipulation remain calm, keep their voice steady, and refuse to be pushed off topic until the point is addressed. Just the tip. If you normally get triggered by her yelling and start yelling back, you'll reclaim your power faster by remaining alarmingly stoic and not engaging. If you normally cower or beg for forgiveness, you will reclaim your power faster by being assertive and facing her head on. Key point. When you respond in a way that's dramatically different from your usual, she instantly senses something serious has shifted and not in her favor. It's how you regain your power, even if it doesn't look like it at first. Have you ever backed down just to avoid the drama? Fess up. Of course, some manipulation is not loud at all. Number 6, the silent treatment. The silent treatment is a quiet psychology method. It's intentional avoidance used to punish and control you, which isn't the same as genuinely taking space to process the situation or feelings. Example, she stops replying to your text for days until you come around to her way of thinking. Why the silent treatment works? Well, again, it taps into your fear of abandonment and need for resolution. Yep, possibly like it did when you were a young boy. Men who want to avoid women's manipulation respect real space, but they recognize deliberate stonewalling as control. How do you handle it when someone suddenly goes silent to get their way? Okay, and then there is one of the most confusing and cruel tactics. Number 7, gaslighting. Gaslighting is one of the most dangerous manipulation tools. She twists or denies reality to make you question your memory, judgment, or even sanity. And yes, all of these can apply to men as well. Example, you remember what she said, but she insists that never happened. You're just imagining things. Maybe you even have proof, but she continues to deny it, or she twists the meaning behind what she said. Why gaslighting works? Well, if you had a narcissistic mother, it may feel familiar and it undermines your confidence, so you learn to depend on her version of reality. Men who want to avoid women's manipulation trust their perception. They check facts when needed and they avoid letting her rewrite reality for them. Have you ever doubted yourself because of constant denial or twisted facts? Okay, the next one is common in long-term relationships. Number 8, moving the goalposts. Okay, so moving the goalposts is a frustrating manipulation mind bleep. You think you meet her standards, then she changes them so you never measure up. Example, let's say first she wants you to text more often, then she says you're texting too much, and then she complains you don't send enough voice messages or call her. Oh my gosh, why moving the goalposts works? You guessed it, you may have witnessed this when you were a child. It keeps you chasing approval that you'll never fully get. Men who want to avoid women's manipulation spot this early and refuse to chase a moving target. Question, have you ever felt like nothing you did was ever good enough? Share your story. So sometimes manipulation looks like help, but is really about control. Number 9, over-helpfulness for your own good. Okay, over-helpfulness is a sneaky manipulation technique where she insists on doing things for you or making decisions for your own good to keep you dependent on her. For example, she manages your schedule, maybe even your diet, your finances, all without being asked. Now, at first, you feel cared for, but soon you feel mothered and maybe even smothered. Why over-helpfulness works. Maybe your mom was controlling and it feels like care and generosity at first, but slowly creates dependency. Men who want to avoid women's manipulation appreciate genuine help, but maintain control over their own life choices. Have you ever realized a woman's help was actually more about control? Comment. Okay, and just before I reveal one of the oldest manipulation tricks in the book, if you have found value in this video, please give it a like and consider subscribing. And thank you if you already have. Number 10, using jealousy to get a reaction. No matter how old she is, using jealousy is a classic manipulation and psychology move. She flirts with other guys or mentions other men to make you insecure and jealous and fight for her attention. Example, let's say she casually mentions how attractive another man is, just to see if you'll take the bait and get jealous. Why creating jealousy works? Well, perhaps a parent played you against your siblings. Creating jealousy triggers your competitive drive and fear of being rejected or replaced, and can feel like an intoxicating mix of passion and desire. Just the tip, in most romantic relationships, a little jealousy is normal and even healthy. It means you care about the relationship continuing on, but using jealousy as a manipulation technique is not healthy. Men who want to avoid women's manipulation do not play the jealousy game. They note the behavior and decide if she's worth keeping around, and, if necessary, deal with their own unhealed emotional wounds from childhood. Now, you might want to watch my video, Is She Really Right for You? Is She Worth It? And When to Walk Away. That'll be coming up. Question, how would you respond if someone tried to make you jealous on purpose? It should be noted that women don't always consciously intend to manipulate you. Sometimes it's just instinctive from her own emotional wounds from childhood or before you. Now you know the top manipulation techniques and psychology tactics and the psychology behind why they work. Now, these games are not games you win by playing better. You win by refusing to play. Now, if you want to avoid women's manipulation, the key is to spot these behaviors early, set firm boundaries, and follow through on consequences, even walking away if they continue. But I will say, give extra care if children are involved, and make sure you are not using these manipulation techniques on her. A healthy woman will respect your boundaries, your time, and your values, but you must respect yourself first. Hold your ground, keep your standards high, and the right woman will respect you for it. If you got value from this video, please consider sharing it with someone who needs to hear it. Big hug, lots of love, God bless, and I'll see you in the next one.